My next guest is here to ease my fears, hopefully. Please welcome to the show America's accountant, Dan Geltrude, to the show. All right, Dan, I think you can see where I'm going with this. I mean, we're not really doing anything with the supply side of the equation. That can pop up in any second. We had inflation come off, but only because crude oil went down. Well, what happens if we get a spike and we've got 4% interest rates? What's the economy look like then?
Well, we're going to be in a lot worse shape than we are right now. Scott, look, you and I talking man to man here, you know, we got to feel a little bad for Jay Powell. The guy has been put in a situation where he really shouldn't be. And what do I mean by that? This administration has basically thrown the recession and all the economic problems on him and said, resolve it. Now, look, he's going to take us down a path still of death by 1,000 cuts. What does that mean? He's going to continue to raise interest rates, whether it's half a point or 3/4 of a point. It doesn't matter all that much. I think people are really looking too hard into that. What they really need to see, and what the truth of the matter is, he's got to rip the Band-Aid off if he's actually going to try to solve the inflation problem. And I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to continue to march down this path, and no matter how deep we go into a recession, the administration will change the definition. So I'm going to tell you right now, we'll never be in a recession.
Right.
So we're going to stay down, or we're going to stay on this path until we're not on this path.
And so the classic way that most Western economies would fight inflation is to try to get your federal funds, your base rate, up above the inflation rate, right? Nobody believes that we're going to be able to get our interest rates up over, say, even 8% to try to combat inflation at 8.5%. But is there some time where you think we'll see interest rates and inflation rates kind of cross on that graph where we're almost equal, and that really starts to be a win for getting the economy and its inflation problem under control?
Scott, I think in order to get to a win, and you've been saying it over and over again, is to address energy. That, to me, is the only way to really start making some significant progress with the problem that we have. And that relates to the supply side. Yep. And energy is so critical to that. So until we start to change there, we're going to continue to have a problem. Now, look, Scott, I know you have some history in Europe. Let's take a look at what's going on in Europe right now. Europe's got a big energy problem, and it's going to get worse. And I'll tell you why. Because Russia is going to really start to squeeze Europe, right? Specifically Germany, right? So all the manufacturing and everything that's going on in Europe is going to start to grind to a slower and slower rate of production, and we're going to feel that. Europe's going to feel it, and Europe is going to have no choice but to go along with Russia in order to get those gas lines up and running into their country to be able to deal with the economic issues.
You know, and we meet every morning to plan the show, myself and Ashley, the producer of the show. And we both kind of look at each other and talk around the problems because they're kind of big. And number one, you just named it with what's been happening in Europe with all of those energy prices. But number two is we're not solving our own problem here. It's about energy, and it's about the supply of energy. Now, we could have interest rates go up to 6%. I don't care. But in one day, we can see crude oil shoot up $10 to $100 a barrel. And then all of a sudden, we're back to where we started as far as high oil prices. And we've got interest rates in the country of 5 or 6%. I mean, that's just not sustainable, especially with what you've slowly been showing. I mean, are you hearing the drip, drip, drip of bankruptcies and more layoffs? It's not really making a lot of the headlines, but across the globe even, we had the world's second largest cinema complex. The rumors that they're on Friday going to be declaring bankruptcy. It's happening everywhere. I'm just not seeing the good news that's going to rescue us out of this problem.
Well, somebody hopefully is going to wake up and see that there is a tremendous opportunity for the United States here. And what do I mean by that? The world is thirsty for energy. And you know what? We have it.
Right.
And as you've said, I give you credit, energy is power. Energy is economic power. So here is a time for us to seize the moment, be the hero, supply the world, drive down energy prices, not rely on our enemies, not have our allies rely on our enemies. And you know what? A lot of the problems will go away. Not all of them, Scott,
right.
but a big chunk will go away if we just wake up to energy is the key to this whole thing.
I call that the airplane solution, Dan, right? When they say when those masks come down, put yours on first so you can help others. Well, if you need energy, drill for your own first so then you can help others. It's just like they tell you on the airplane. I really appreciate that. That's great stuff, and you're right on, spot on. I agree with everything you said. Thank you very much. Dan Geltrude coming to us from Nutley, New Jersey. He's America's accountant.